Doctor and Adric have been summoned to the planet Traken by its keeper, one that has served for thousands of years and is now close to his demise. The keeper is to pick a replacement, but is concerned by the evil he senses on his planet and asks the Doctor to help stop any threats. This is made difficult, however, after some murders on the usually peaceful planet make the appearance of the Doctor suspicious. Can the Doctor prove his innocence? What is this mysterious milker? And why is Cassia being so strange? Let's get straight into the discussion of Keeper of Traken, which ran from the 31st January to the 21st of February 1981, and was the 6th story of Season 18.
I am Nick.
And I am Conrad.
And we are about to discuss The Keeper of Traken, written by Johnny Byrne? Yeah, Byrne.
Yeah,
that's how you pronounce it.
How's it said?
Byrne. I knew someone who had that same last name.
Okay. So
I'm pretty sure. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong.
wrong.
Maybe we said it wrong all these years and nobody knows. Okay, so they've just left End Space, which is the bit before. That's where Romana's just left.
Yeah. In the war
Yeah,
escape.
I was just checking. My collection's just over my shoulder. So yeah, we just saw Romana leave, and they didn't really actually mention her, which usually they do, kind of the next episode. But hey,
at least briefly.
But so yeah, it's kind of opening scene, and then the Keeper appears, and then summons the Doctor. I actually really enjoyed that scene, and Adric wasn't actually that annoying. He was kind of, it's okay, yeah. He's written as a younger than the actor who's playing him. Matthew Waterhouse is too old to play Adric's written character. He needed to be 16, really.
No, that's only part of the problem with Adric for me. I mean, the other part of it was that, to be honest, his performance is... Well, his lines, I think, more than the performance. It's rather bland, to be honest.
Yeah,
like all of his lines are generic, kind of.
Yeah,
just...
so sometimes he worked off Tom Baker quite well, really. There was some really nice moments, actually, which like I'd compare actually to Second Doctor and Jamie. At one point, there was like they're in the prison. It was like, oh, would you mind popping outside and letting us out? It was just like nice. Oh no, it was the bit which it was okay. So they just landed, and then like the soldiers point the guns at them, and the Doctor's like, put your hands up, and then Adric puts like his two like hands forward, like horizontal, and it's like no, up in the air. It was just a really nice, something that Jamie would kind of do, and it made sense because it's come from End Space, a completely different thing. So I thought that was actually a really nice touch, and I didn't think Matthew Waterhouse gave it a bad performance.
No.
It's just badly written, but he was better in this story than most of the Fifth Doctor stories because he actually had screen time.
Yeah, true.
Too many companions in the Fifth Doctor era. But yeah, I'd say the first thing which really hits you as soon as you reach Traken are the sets and the costumes. My God, they are good.
They are really
They are incredibly good. Like, all the leaves on the ground, it adds such character to it. Like, there wasn't a scene in any, like, even, like, Tremus's office was so detailed. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant sets. And just absolutely great. Absolutely, from a production standard, absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
Some really nice directional shots as well of actually a moving camera. Like, I remember in the garden, the Doctor kind of actually moved past the camera. It was really nice and just a bit more different for Doctor Who sometimes.
Yeah, a bit more varied.
It got sometimes in some stories it's very much on the stand, like the old cameras they had on the walls.
Yeah.
It got very much just that.
Yeah.
But this one was more kind of hey, let's moving about, kind of outdoorsy cameras, more doing some more interesting shots. So that was the first thing. Definitely the sets. Definitely got to give.
Immediately strike you. Yeah.
Definitely, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, of course, I'd put that down to the fact that they didn't have to make a lot of them in a lot of cases. So they could put a lot more effort and a lot more money into the ones which they had, which I think worked out for the better.
There was no, it was all on set, wasn't it? There was no location, wasn't there? There was no location footage.
No. It's just a few sets. So you had the Grove, you had the one back garden, you had the office, you had the back stairs, and you had the main hall, basically, and the prison.
Yeah. The prison was a bit bland, but then what a prison's supposed to be.
Well, and it was a completely unused prison because they, of course, are very peaceful race.
Yeah,
so it's like
barely used, so it would be run down. But yeah, I thought, definitely that. I'd say that the first episode is very character based. Not a lot happens in the terms of action. And that's okay for episode 1, because they're laying down the scene. You're kind of learning everybody. You're going, this is this character, this is this character. Look, we've got the new companion, so people are interested in that. Though he was kind of in 2 stories before, so he's not completely new. But you're thinking, okay, he's got the limelight now. Let's see what he does. So that was okay. But then episode 2, I started to find it a little slow.
Yeah, that is one thing I'll definitely say about this story, is the fact that even at the end, like, not a lot happens in the time it takes to get there.
It needs some more action. The only action that occurred were either like laser beams, like do, or imaginary wind of craziness, whoa, lying on the ground, crawling.
I'm not sure if that's necessarily an action thing, but just to have like.
That's what. Like,
I think that's part of it, but like I think more
running away. At least some kind of sense of urgency.
Yes.
Because the main threat at one is the kind of the Master's got this source, the all knowledge kind of thing. That's the problem. Yeah, twist, the Master's in this. Though it's on the box set for these DVDs, the Master's there. So I mean, it's not a big surprise. So he gets in the Keeper's chair at the very end. Spoilers or jump to a whatsoever on the thing. He gets into the Source chair, and then he's got all this knowledge. But they never really show what threat that is. In the next story, Logoplois, is it? Logoplois?
Yeah.
However you say it. The threat is seen. The universe starts being destroyed, Nissan looks up and goes, I can't see Traken. I can't see my home. Or along lines along that.
Yeah.
There's like a sense of threat. Because like, in the previous story, we were like, oh god. So like, that's been destroyed.
Yeah.
That's really big.
That is.
That's like Star Wars kind of level of destruction right there.
Alderaan. Though actually, Alderaan, you didn't even really see the planet itself.
But you still kind of felt a tiny bit.
Yeah. This one. Yeah, because you actually got to go to the planet.
But you see, the threat was seen of the universe being destroyed. While in this one, yeah, great, he's got all this knowledge, but what does he actually do with it? What can he do with it? He lives forever, great, but he's stuck on this chair. It's kind of there's a problem here, and it needed a bigger threat.
Yeah.
Or it needed the threat to be seen, in my opinion. I mean, there's I really loved my favorite cliffhanger for this was episode 1, and that was when the Keeper was in the chair and they were going. Do you know the doctor? And he suddenly goes, evil, there's evil in this room. And that is because the Melka, the statue, is behind the door.
Yeah.
That was really smart writing, and I was like, that is good. And that is why that means my cliffhanger of the story, episode 1.
Yeah.
And that wins my cliffhanger of the story.
Yeah,
there we go. It was really smart writing. There were really good parts of really smart writing.
Yeah.
And that was good. Let's go on to the Melka, and let's go on to the Master in the episode.
Well, first off, the Melka, the creation of it itself is really like an interesting design, and it was really nicely built because it does look like stone. It looks like stone.
It's really nice texture, and it just looks like a kind of statue that would be made, or a creature which is a statue.
Yeah.
It looks realistic for what it is.
Yeah.
Which is, good. And for the time of, low budget CG, they couldn't make the joints look more realistic when it was walking, could they?
No.
So I thought it was an incredibly good production. All of the production on this side is incredibly good.
Yeah.
Though I don't really like Tremus or Cassia's capes in the first episode. Those looked a bit out. No capes! Edna would be screaming at them. But so then the Master obviously does not have a ping ball eyes.
No. They're gone for whatever reason.
The reason that I think that they said was that it was for more emotion, because you couldn't see the emotion of the eyes.
Which makes you question why they had them in the first place.
I guess they just added them in to maybe make it more beady, like he was decaying, so that it was outside of the skull. I think was the kind of original. They're bigger than
your standard eyes.
Yeah, I don't know, but I think it was. I like the decaying Master. I really like that kind of. This is the first time a Master's been back since the Deadly Assassin.
Yeah.
So we only ever saw the decaying Master twice, which it's a great idea, but you know, hey ho, he turns into.
I mean, he's
Anthony
decaying.
Amy.
You can't really have him for much more.
But yeah, I quite liked the inside of the Melka ship as well, because I mean, it had like the
Yeah.
round things on the wall as well. There's just like 6 of them. But
Mm.
it kind of like was like, and that twist that the Melka was the TARDIS, that was brilliant as well.
Yeah,
Like
that
the first time I
nice,
watched
really.
that, I did not see that coming.
No,
I was
neither
like,
did I.
oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So I was
Mm.
thinking, okay, the 2 eyes is just watching from, from his, somewhere else.
Yeah, or just
So
some
he's
robot.
actually in the TARDIS, big on the
Yeah,
inside kind of thing. That was mad. And also then, the final episode, does it count as a cliffhanger though, where he takes over Tremus's body? Because it kind of is, because it continues into Lagoga.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But I still like number 1 more, because it's kind of, that's the end of a story. But, yeah, it was really weird. It's really creepy actually for Tremus as a character. He's stuck to this clock, and he sees this decaying man. Like, how creepy would that be?
Yeah.
This decaying man coming towards you, going, finally a new body.
That's weird.
Scary as hell. That was like horror. That could be in a horror movie.
I question, like, when they do kind of combine, how on earth does he get younger?
I guess it's a kind of regeneration of molecules.
I guess, but
I don't know. Who knows Time Lord science? But yeah, it really, and yeah, just really kind of, that was creepy ending. But I like the usual Doctor Who slow reveal. Just a hand to start with, then maybe a bit more of a body, and then the final, spin in the chair. Oh, Doctor!
I've been expecting you.
Yeah, the usual spin in the chair, episode 3 kind of thing. That was, yeah, it was really well executed. The things that it was trying to do, it did well. It just was lacking. It needed one bit more of threat, maybe a bit more running. There was a lot of character-based talking. But one thing I do want to talk about is Nyssa.
Yeah.
Why did they like her so much? I mean, she's probably a great person and really nice. Sarah Sutton's probably a really lovely person. I mean, she looks like a lovely person. Haven't met her yet. We've met other people. We're, with the stars, But, we haven't met her yet, but like, she seems like a really nice person from all the extras I've seen. But I just don't get why they liked her character so much.
I can kind of see bits of it. I mean, like, not. I mean, she's just sort of, for chunks of it, she's
the first 2 episodes,
sort of there.
She says so little in the first 2 episodes.
But
so
she does do something, such as, for example, knocking out the guards with the laser thing, getting them out there.
She comes in later, but you see, people have done that in past stories beforehand. There've been way more helpful people who haven't got, ended up on the. I guess it's just John Nathan Turner, really.
Yeah,
I guess he wanted a female in the lead.
I just saw some potential in her, I guess. I don't know.
I guess maybe you just like Sarah Sutton. I mean, that's kind of that's the myth on why Colin Baker got part of the role of the Doctor. I like to think there's more to it. I like Colin Baker as the Doctor, so I'm fine that he got it. I'm really actually happy that he got it. But some people like, if John Nathan Turner liked she'd get in was a very large thing of that era from what I've heard. I mean, I didn't live through it, did I? But
No.
From what I've heard, I guess that's kind of what we know. But I didn't see any reason. I mean, it's good because in Lagoga Boys she gives us that kind of that heartfelt moment where she's like, "I can't see Traken, oh my god." That's crazy. But one thing I'm not sure. I can't really super 100% say this now, but the Master has her father's face.
Yes.
How distressing would that be? This arch enemy villain who's terrorizing. Did they ever play on that? Did they ever go the thing is, part of me thinks, tiny in the back of my head thinks that there was a time.
I think there might have
part
been.
Of me goes,
there must have been something in Lagoga Boys.
I think it is. She says something along that line.
But I don't think it was ever made that big a deal, which I think it would be.
In New Who, that would be a massive thing.
Yeah.
I think they should have played on that massively,
Yeah.
That's the problem in the classic era. They didn't care enough about the companions to give them much. But yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I like from a artist's design of a DVD cover. It's quite a nice cover. I mean, but it's kind of just bland, really. I mean, it's got the Melka, which makes sense, and it's got the Doctor, which, you know, obvious kind of pick. But then the Keeper, who's barely in it. I know that it's got him in the title, but I think it should have had Tremas, Cassia, and Nissan on it.
Yeah, perhaps.
I don't know.
But I mean, he's important for the first episode or so it's kind of...
Yeah, and he is in the title, but hey, that's certainly the DVD cover. That's not what you guys are really here for. But I guess, yeah, it's just, I feel that there's not too much to talk about with this one, because it's very much character-based. I mean, they're good characters. Even the side characters, there's the guy with the kind of weird kind of female bob haircut.
Yeah, and the guards.
And they I can't remember their names. But like, what is it? Seron and Katura and Luvic and Neiman, and they're actually pretty decent side characters.
Yeah.
I mean,
and they're quite relatable in quite relatable situations, especially the two well, they're like counselors, weren't they? Who they had, who you can see why they would think these sorts of things in these situations. Cassia is someone they respect and will listen to what she was saying. And she'd know more about Tremas than anybody else, so they'd understand about like being wary about him after she said so. But yeah, the more you see it from their perspective in a way, considering how much you get to be with them, which in that regard is quite nice actually.
Oh, definitely, yeah. One thing, Cassia is well acted except that hilariously bad feint in I think episode 1 or 2. Where she like gets taken over and she goes, like oh my god, yeah. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
But, one thing that was really good was the part where her collar, which I found pretty funny. The master giving her a dog collar. I mean, like,
pretty much.
How kinky can you get? But basically, when that like lighted up red and then the eyes on her eyes like were red, that was really nice. That was really good. But yeah, just not too much. I mean, it's very character driven. It's very solid dialogue, but episode 2 gets a bit dull due to the action's not very spread out very well. It's kind of all in episode 3 and 4. Episode 1's fine because it's, you know, introducing, but episode 2's very much, I'd say, the slowest of them all.
Yeah.
And it's a bit kind of solved very quickly. Like, press some buttons. Gah!
Put it in. But the electricity thingies and stuff.
Yeah, and then, but I guess it's kind of part set up. So, I mean, this guy, Johnny Vine, I'm pretty sure. Let me just check my sources. He also wrote, I think, he also wrote The Arc of Infinity, which is a little later also The Return of Omega, which was, you know, to celebrate the 20 years of Doctor Who, which was the 5th Doctor story. And he also wrote the notorious Warriors of the Deep, Conrad's favourite classic Doctor Who story ever. Got a weird aeroplane here. But yeah, that's I mean, it's crazy to think that, like, Arc of Infinity I enjoy quite a lot. So I mean, it's kind of got a really bad story, an okay one with this one, and a really kind of, I think it's really good. I can't completely remember Arc of Infinity, but I remember it as being quite decent, really, especially the filming in Amsterdam. That's really nice.
Yeah,
but
it's interesting,
that's
a bit different.
So
I had a few other points which I did mention. Wait, hang on. What was the episode? So hang on. I just wanna the episode 3 ending. Yeah, that was
when he appears on the chair.
Yeah. That was not really. I mean, like, cause they made a big deal out of that, but it wasn't really a surprise considering they quite clearly kind of very heavily kind of showed that was going to happen. So it didn't have any impact because, like, yeah, you could like that was the plan all along. He already stated that pretty much, so it doesn't really work as a cliffhanger.
Yeah, it's that he actually pulled through it. He actually, actually did it. Oh my god, that's I guess what they were going with. But I mean, it's not as good as it could be. But I guess let's move on to the good. The good. So what would you say? 3 best things about it.
Ooh. I'd say the sets. Incredibly nice, very well detailed.
Definitely, that's one of mine as well. Sets and production and costumes, just incredibly good. Though, to be honest, I'm not a super fan of the question marks on the collar. I just don't really enjoy Tom Baker's red costume. I like the red jacket. I like the red jacket in like his first seasons, but I just don't like the all red. I just didn't really. It's that scarf. I prefer the more multicolored scarf. It had more
I can understand that, but I think if they did keep the multicolored scarf and plus everything else, it would have looked a bit out of place.
Yeah, it had to match the rest of the costume, but I didn't like the costume change.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed how considering like while it is very slow, I liked how you got to see what the Milk was doing, how he was manipulating everybody, and how that was impacting on everyone else, and how that kind of spread, and how things kind of developed like that. I really enjoyed that part of the episode, Melka's kind of manipulation throughout.
Yeah,
I think it's always
that was especially when Joffrey Beavers.
I think
is that Beavers? How do you say it?
I think it's Jeffrey.
Jeffrey
Beavers.
Beavs. Oh, sorry, we can't speak. There's a really good scene when he is as the master and he's like toying with Tremas. Basically, like he causes Tremas to shoot the guy and then put the gun to his own head.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
He, flips up the gun just before he kills himself, and that is so good. That was
when
really.
he was controlling everybody.
That was probably a highlight.
Yeah, that really was.
Third thing for you?
And the third thing, I would Okay, a lot of the notes I put down were about the kind of sets.
Sets are incredibly good.
They are very good. They are very good.
Just about there, if you didn't get that already.
Yeah, it's one more time. I would say Cassia, just her acting in general, because I felt like the actress did portray very well, how it started, how how things had down spiraled for her.
Yeah, definitely. How she's I liked actually how they showed her as young at the TARDIS. Remember when she first started caring for the Milker, and he's that was many years ago. That was a really kind of weird thing to do in Classic Era. They never did something kind of timey-wimey. That was kind of a very cool timey-wiminess in there. So definitely, the best thing about this story is sets and costumes. Absolutely incredible. The Melka with the red eyes, absolutely fantastic design, absolutely brilliant. That was the most enjoyable thing to see all these things in play. Absolutely brilliant. I'd say the second thing is the characters and just the general acting. I don't think there was any weak characters. I still don't get how Nissa got into it. But hey ho, she turns out pretty good and she has some pretty good moments later on. But what can you do? And third best thing, I'd say just the Master's return and kind of how he played in it. But yeah, I'd say it's just a good story.
Yeah.
And for the box set it comes in with the Goggopois and Castrovalva, this is definitely one of the more decent box sets. I'd say.
It's a really good box set.
Yeah, I'd definitely say. Actually, probably the best 4th Doctor-based one, New Beginnings. So you can get that on Amazon. So if you want to go get that, it's there. So let's move on to the bad. Three bad points.
The speed of the episode, because it can get a bit boring at times, how it kind of just plods along and doesn't always go anywhere, or how everything to get anywhere requires another 10 minutes of talking. I think I mentioned the episode 3 cliffhanger, but I think that's one of the points which there's something that's supposed to have a big shock factor, just didn't work because they already kind of built that up. And that laser. I mean, I know they couldn't do a lot at the time, but still, It's quite funny. It's like a bunch of squares kind of being.
It reminds me of those really old maths videos. They show you those kind of colour schemes.
Oh yeah,
Really old
yeah.
maths videos with like shapes and oh god. Yeah, I'd say 3 bad things. Adric has no personality. He's just a general guy. Not Matthew Waterhouse's fault. But you can only do so much with your character. Again, I think he's a too older actor to be playing the kind of child that was written, generic young child. Another bad thing. See, it's quite hard. There's not anything really bad. I'd say that no major threat. That is I'd say the second kind of worst thing. There's still a threat, but there's nothing. They never show its strength of what having the source can do. I mean, they controlled Tremas for a bit. That was the tiny bit, tiny moment. And I'd say the first thing is pacing. That's the only thing. Very, very. Our first episode is okay for about 15 minutes, and you want some action, you want something big, and they have a murder, but they didn't really do any build up, like the guy screaming. They could have done a Barbara Wright moment from the Daleks. The turning towards the camera and this high above camera looking down at this guy. Obviously it being the Melka, but not showing it, just to hold it for the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
But hey ho, and I guess that's the 3 pacing.
Yeah.
No major threat, and I guess Adric not really having much of a character. So for the nerdy, Tremas is an anagram of the Master.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've seen the Master since the Deadly Assassin, which is 5-ish years before.
Yeah.
The Melka statue design is actually based on a 1913 statue by Umberto Boccardi, who's obviously an Italian. I think by that last name.
You imagine so.
That's what it's based on. They got rid of the ping pong ball eyes of the Master, which is our joke in our thumbnail.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to show more emotion. Which the Master's angry in our thumbnail, so I guess it kind of that works as well. That was a happy accident. And Johnny Pine wrote 2 other stories, Arc of Infinity and Warriors of the Deep. So conclusion, Conrad.
So this episode, it's nothing special by any means. It has some very nice points, such as the set, such as a lot of the characters, such as, the props and stuff, and the production values in general. Has some nice scenes, but it's also kind of uninteresting when you compare it in the greater scheme of things. It is there, and that's. I mean, generally, when you watch it, you might enjoy it, but it's it's just there.
Nothing to write home about.
It's just sort of there when you look at it, especially in the grand scheme of Tom Baker's era. Even it's
so
just sort of it's just sort of there by comparison.
I always feel that the end of Tom Baker's era always kind of tails off. It kind of it's already reached its peak, and it kind of that last season's kind of okay, and
I think the
Gogger Boys, it's a great final story, but one story doesn't save an entire season, really.
No, well, I've only watched a few of those. So
I
need to watch
the East Space trilogy is kind of only okay. I need to rewatch it to really give my full opinion.
But it's fine. I think it has more good than bad here, but it's absolutely nothing really to write home about. So that's why I give this episode a 7
out of 10.
Out of 10.
You'll get there with saying the 10 bit. Okay, so my conclusion is this is a nice little story which stands as the penultimate story for the 4th Doctor. Very character driven with well-timed return of the Master, though with lots of characters in it. There's something missing which I definitely would say is action, which isn't just being blown about by imaginary wind, because that happens I think twice.
No, that only happens once, because that's only when the Keeper is dying.
No, and then at the very last bit when they're in the room and Adric's trying to crawl over and put in the...
Oh, yeah.
So twice. So, look out for that great windy imaginary wind. I mean, they don't even use fans sometimes to, blow the hair. I mean...
No.
But, oh well. And yeah, the action's not very spread, and episode 2 is very long to get through, and there is and not a really big stake, at the heart of it, there's no large stakes,
They weren't cooked yet.
So overall, Due to really good production, really good sets, and really well acted. Everybody goes into it. Tom Baker as charming as ever. 7 out of 10, but could easily, if you're not having a good day and you decide to watch this one, could probably drop to a 6 because of the boring factor at some points. Very slow, very sluggish. But if you're kind of concentrating and you really kind of, and you enjoy listening to characters and listening to dialogue, then this is a much better and could go for a 7 out of 10. So it's kind of in between that 6 and 7 number.
Yeah, somewhere.
It doesn't deserve a 6 exactly. It needs a bit above, so 6.5. But I like doing full numbers now. So 7 out of 10 for mainly brilliant characters, sets, and well executed Return of the Master. So yeah, there we go. Thank you very, very much for listening to the Eyes of Harmony review of the Keeper of Traken. Definitely worth kitting it as part of the box set.
Yep.
So please stick around, subscribe or not.
Or not. It's up to you.
Up to you.
Don't just be some sheep in the field that just follows everyone else. Do it because you want to.
The cloister bells will ring if you don't. We will see you next time, or we won't. And goodbye. Thank you very much.
Bye.